Hey everyone, we are snapping green beans. We're gonna can green beans tomorrow. My wife's Aunt Cindy, she came down and picked some green beans from the garden, and this is what we're dealing with. We got the completely snapped green beans here, and the ones that we're working on right now. Well, it's the start of canning season 2020. We're gonna make some canned green beans here today. We picked and snapped yesterday, finished up snapping this morning. All this right here is gonna end up going in pint jars. And then as we pick more and more throughout the year, we might put some quarts for the holidays. But yeah, most of the green beans will end up in pints. So just to give you a little bit of an understanding, we put 48 pint jars in the dishwasher last night. Ran it through the sanitation cycle. When we open those up, we will then raw pack those green beans in there, and then put boiling water in them, sanitize the lids, put the lids on, put the rings on, put them in a pressure cooker, which will go on the stove. And yeah, so you'll get to follow along and watch as we do our green beans. This is the first time for me doing green beans. I'm normally like a sauce tomato kind of guy, and pickles and peppers. But my wife's Aunt Cindy is here to show me exactly how to do this. So we're gonna learn it. So at this point, we are raw packing these. We'll put some in. Try and compact it down in. Slide it over. Grab another jar. Putting a few more in there. I think I'm just going to try pushing them in like that. We'll speed that up a little bit. There you go. So we ended up with 33 pints right now. We raw packed all of these. Hit the jar on the bottom, boom, 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 and it'll settle them down, and then you can also push from the top down to pack them in good. So now what we'll do is we'll put a half a teaspoon of canning salt in each one of these jars, and then add hot water to them. After that, we'll put the lids and ring. We'll sanitize the lids. We'll put the lids and rings on them, and we'll put them in the pressure cooker that is heating up right now. All right, guys. So what we're going to do now is put the lids and rings on. So I put the lids in boiling water to soften them and to sterilize them real quick. I'm going to take the rings and place them here. They don't need to be super tight at this point. So now these jars will go, these 20 pints will go in the pressure cooker. And the weight that goes on the top of the pressure cooker doesn't go on until you have a full head of steam coming out. So you want to cook these green beans for 25 minutes, right? 25 minutes at 11 pounds of pressure. Once there's a full head of steam coming out of this right here, you will put a weight on top of that, like that, and it kind of wobbles back and forth. And that's how you know this will pop up and steam will come out. So how many did I get in there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 on the bottom. All right. There's 20.
Keep washing them, give them a bath. And we're going to take them from here, and we're going to lay them over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, make sure there's no dirt on them.
All right, so while we are waiting for our green beans to start boiling in the pressure canner, we're starting to prep for our pepper mustard recipe. And to do this one, you have to pick about 50 hot banana peppers. We use Hungarian wax. Cut the tops off, cut them in half. Take the seeds out and any of the veins, and then we'll run it through this and use the meat grinder attachment to chew them up nice and fine, and then put all the ingredients together, cook it, and can it the way that I was taught. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn on the grinder and we're going to start grinding some peppers. Right now we're waiting for our pressure canner to come down. We've removed it from the hot burner. Once this thing here drops, we can then take this regulator off right here, the weight, and you know, we just got to wait for everything to cool before we can do anything. This thing is still under about 9 pounds of pressure right now. Coming over to our second batch, this is the pepper mustard. So the ground up peppers are in the bottom. I have to put mustard in here, a specified amount of mustard. I've got to put flour and water in here, and then this is the amount of sugar that goes into this mixture. So right now I am mixing the pepper, the mustard. I got to put vinegar in here, sugar, salt in my large pot. And once it's boiling, I'll add the flour and the water mixture very, very slowly and bring it to a boil. Stir it a lot and then put it in jars and ready to go.
I'll send it to the back of the stove if I have to.
All right, guys, so we're pulling out the jars right now. Checking to make sure that the seals are good. See the green beans.
Give me 2 here and then back here.
Okay. A lot of water on the top of that one.
Got it. I won't touch here, just back here.
Oh, we're fogging up the camera. There's a lot of water on this one.
Sure.
Last one. Just in time to do another round. Alright guys, so we got batch 1 done. There's 20 pints right here. They're starting to click and seal. Right now we're starting on batch 2. There's 12 in here right now. It took us, it's 1:30 right now, it took us a few hours to get that up to pressure and get everything cooking the way that it should have been. So we'll probably be at least, I would say, 3 o'clock, 3:30 before this batch is done. So what we're going to do now is we've got the pepper mustard in here, it's ready to rock and roll, but we're going to juice the blackberries for our Blackberry Jam. Once we do that, basically what this is doing is it's buying us time. We've got jars in the dishwasher right now. I'm sure you can probably hear them. Yeah, so buying time before we do this. Once we get this up to a boil, it's relatively pretty quick. And we actually, after we put these in jars for the pepper mustard, we place them in the oven for about 5 minutes. Brings everything up and seals everything nicely. So. And then on the Blackberry Jam, same thing. We're gonna go ahead and juice those berries now, so you'll get to see what that looks like. Is that? Now, if you remember from the previous video, how many we have in there now?
I don't know. I don't count while I pick. I just pick while I pick.
We picked these blackberries on our farm in our back pasture field. And now we are turning them into wild Blackberry Jam. So after juicing everything, this is what is left that is not really worth anything. This is the seeds. You can see them in there, and the skins and everything else. So this is the pulp and the juice of the 16.7 cups of blackberries that we picked, and it worked out to an exact amount of 8 cups. So we'll put that in here. We are using Complete Book of Home Preserving from Ball, if you guys can see that. We are using the recipe on page 40 for a berry jam with liquid pectin. So out of this, we should end up with 16 jelly jars. So this is going to be a double batch. All right, guys, so we're putting the pepper mustard on right now. Turn it on high. Just give you an update of the beans. We are at about 10.5, almost 11 pounds of pressure right now. We just turned the heat down to medium on this. And we're waiting now to get this hot. Once this becomes hot, we'll take this flour right here and we will slowly whisk that into our mix. So you have to pour this in extremely slowly so it doesn't, you don't get dough balls. Now once you mix this stuff in, you have to constantly stir. You don't want to scorch. The flour thickens this a lot, and then once it cools, it's almost at the consistency of jelly because of the flour, so you have to constantly stir this. We'll bring it back to a boil, and then once we bring it back to a boil, we'll start canning it. That's it. Good and thick. Perfect. Alright guys, we just finished our pepper spread, and now we are going to pull the green beans out. They are done. That's it. Now on to the jelly. Alright guys, we've got the berry on right now. We put in 14 cups of sugar. I know it sounds ridiculous, but 14 cups of sugar to 8 cups of berries. 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then when we get this to a boil, we will add the pectin in. Oh yeah, we put a dab of butter in. According to the book, when you add the butter, it won't foam up as bad.
The foam actually is the coming out from the fruit. So the little bit of butter actually helps reduce the foam.
Alright guys, so right now we're skimming the foam off of the Blackberry Jam. Alright, we putting these in the oven?
You can.
There's one
Click.
just pop.
Blackberry jam is done, Nick.
That's a wrap. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for following along today. We ended up with 20 pint jars of the pepper spread. We ended up with 32 pint jars of green beans. We got 3 in there now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 half pints of blackberry jam. All picked from the farm. Been a long day. It's 4:16 right now. And now comes the worst part of the whole day, and that's cleanup. Special shout out to Aunt Cindy for helping today. Couldn't have done it without you. And yeah, we're just getting started. Canning season, #canning season 2020 is underway.